Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are exploring Intercepting route in Next.js, a powerful feature that let you control and customize how your app handles navigation. Whether you are redirecting user, protecting pages, or adding custom logic to your route, Intercepting route has got you covered. By the end of this video, you will all know exactly how to implement this in your project. So let's dive in. So let's understand what is intercepting routes in Next.js tutorial. As it is the most important topic in Next.js tutorial, let's move on to the slides. So, as we are talking about in the Next.js app router, we have two navigation technique or routing patterns. One is the parallel route, which we have discussed in the previous videos, and in today's video, we are taking the topic about intercepting routes. So, what is intercepting route? In today's video, we are understanding the core concept and conventions, and then we also do a practical example implementation so that you can easily understand how the intercepting routes work in Next.js application. So let's understand what is intercepting route. So intercepting route is an advanced routing mechanism that allow you to load a route from another part of your application within the current layout. Means that some part within the content can be loaded in your current layout, or the part or the page content of that particular part is loaded within your current layout. Currently, it's particularly useful when you want to display new content while keeping your user in the same context. I give you a illustrative example of what in a real world scenario. Here you can see that we have a login window and we visit localhost 3000 / login, and here you can see we have a login button. In the traditional approach, what you see that when you click on the login window, it will redirect to the login page showing you login window, plus the URL of that particular page has also been changed from localhost 3000 to localhost 3000 login. But if we are using the intercepting route in the current scenario like this, just for this example, then when you click that particular login button, only the part of that login window is loading inside the model, not whole page will be loaded, but the content of that login window is loaded in the model, and the URL also change, which is also changed when we are not using the intercepting route like http localhost 3000 / login. Suppose here you can see that when we click on the login and we are using the intercepting route, so you can see that login window inside the model, and your URL also been changed. You see also happening when you reload the page when click on the login button. So this is how intercepting route work. So now let's we have some naming convention related to the intercepting route. Let's try to move on to the Visual Studio Code and try to build an intercepting route in our current Next.js application. Now let's start setting up the intercepting route in VS Code. Before that, we are going through a traditional approach. For that, we are building the two folder F1 and F2, and try to run that without using intercepting route first of all. Here you can see you have app folder, and inside that we can create an F1 folder, and inside that we have a page.tsx. We can create a function for that export default function F1, and inside this default function export this, and we can return a div, return an h1 tag over here, which is called div h1 tag as F1. You can see F1 page. Now we can save it. Now we can create another folder with the name F2 inside F1. So we can select F1 over here, and we can create a new folder with the F2 and /page.tsx inside that. So I think we are not able to do that. So before that, we can rename it to only F2 folder over here. We'll delete that. So inside F2, we can create a new page.tsx, and we can also create a default function for F2 folder function for the F2 folder. So we can write F2, and inside this we can return a div tag return an h1 tag of f2 page. Now, in order to link, we have to add the link of f2 page in the f1 page. So we go to the page.ha, which are showing the f1 page. Now we can provide a link to it. So we can create a div. So we can create a empty fragment over here, and we can move this particular h1 tag over on the top. On the top. After that, we can create a div over here, which will provide a link to it. We can use a link from the next link, and we can give an href to it, and we can pass it. We can pass it f1 and f2. F1 and f2. Okay, now we can click on, and it will click on f2 page. So here we can provide the f1 page. We have giving the f1 page over there, and link provided for to reach out to the f2 page, and f2 page will see the content of f2 page over here. So now here you can see that it is matching fine. Now I think it is working. Now we can try to run that particular over here. Try to run this particular example on the browser side. So after this return, I think we have to create a now it is okay. Now move on to the browser and try to visit the link localhost 3000 plus f1. So let's see what we see on the browser. So here you can see localhost 3000 already running. Now we can visit to the localhost 3000 plus f1 and press enter over here. So here you can see that f1 page is loaded on the browser, and f2 is there, which we have already linked to the f2 page. So when we click on the f2 page, so you can see that the f2 page content will be shown. So this is the traditional approach. When we click on the login button, like just which I showed in the slide, that we press on the login, it will do that to the login page. Now let's add the intercepting route in this particular example. Let's move on to the Visual Studio Code. So now implementing the intercepting route in the current example. Now, as you can see that we are just taking that intercepting route is all talk about the link like source and the source and the destination folder. So here when we click on the f1 folder, it is the source folder, and when we click on the f2, it is the destination folder. So in order to create a intercepting route, we have to create a new folder with the destination folder name. So here you can see that we have f1, and we can create a new folder with the same name as the destination folder. So here the destination folder is f2, but as we need to create an intercepting route, we can create with the help of dot notation over there. When the same when the destination folder are on the same segment, then we have to use the dot notation over here in the same segment, so that it can be easily, so that when we click on the f1, it will move to the destination folder of f2. Okay, now here we can create a page.tsx over here, like page.tsx over here, and we create a default function for the for the intercepted route. Okay, what we have to do, we have to create another function for it, and we have to create like export default function. So let's create it, export default function. Export default function, we need namely intercepted f2. Because f2 are a destination folder where from the content will be loaded in the f1. Now we can return, and we can pass an h1 tag over here, and in the h1 tag we can create dot notation over here, and we can write it intercepted f2 page, and we can save it. Now here you can see that we have the intercepted f2 page over here, and we have our content on the f2 page. And keep in mind that the intercepted route will have the same destination folder. So here in this scenario, f2 is our destination folder and f1 are the source folder. So let's move on to the browser and test it. So here you can see that I have visited the localhost 3000 plus f1, and when we click on f2, so here I think we need to start, because it is not taking the changes over here. We need to start the server. Let me try to then when we click on the f2, We need to start a server. Hold on, give me a second so that we can start a server to it. So we can give a on-camera dab. Need to wait for some time. Maybe sometimes the changes cannot be reflected on the browser unless and until we need to start a server. So login flash localhost flash f1. Just wait for the now. When we click on F2, so here you can see that intercepted F2 page will be loaded inside the F2 page. But here is a catch that when you reload that particular F2 page, your actual content which you have added in the F2 folder in that page.txt will be loaded. So here you can see that the page, the intercepted route will be loaded. Again, I will do it when we click on F2. So here the intercepted F2 page will be loaded by default. When you click on over it, here the intercepted route will be matched. Now, what here is the? I hope you understand the concept that when the destination folder is the same level, we are using the finger dot notation. But now we have a question. Now, what suppose if we have a destination folder one directory above, then how we can access that particular intercepted route? For that, we can do an example and then I will let you know how we can do it. So for this, we have a F1 folder here and we can create another folder, say F3 to it and F3 to it, and created a page.psx over there and copy the F2 content over there so that we don't want to write the content again and again. I can just rename it by saving some time. I have written an intercepted F3 page and we have double dot notation. Okay, now we have no, this is the single F3 page. Giving not a dot notation, a single F3 page. It is F3 page. Intercepted will be inside the source folder. Please keep in mind. Now we have F3 page and we have the default function of the showing F3 page. Now what? As F3 page or the destination folder is one directory above, then how we can handle that particular intercepting route? For this, we can create another folder, like we can create an F2 and we can give the same name as the destination folder. But here we can give telling the Next.js that it is one directory above the level of intercepting route. So here we can give a double notation and F3, and in that we can give a page.tsx and we can paste it here and we can write it F2 to F3 and here F3 pages to it and we can give a double notation to it. Double notation means that the page.tsx is one level behind above the directory, as you sometimes you give in the page when your images are are not at the same level. It is one directory above it. Okay, now let's try to run this. Now let's move on to the browser. So now we can one more thing, I just also want to create a link to the F1 page.8 so that we can able to click over it. So we can create another link over here. We can go over here, we can paste it over here. We don't want this F1, we add that F3 link. Okay, now we can paste it F3, then only we can able to access this. Now this is F3 link and we click over it and it will be read. Now we can go to the F3 link. We can click over it, we can click and press enter over here. So here you can see the F3 page. So we can go to the F1, it's a directory F1 page. But now you can see F1, F2, 3 page. Now when you click on the link F3, here you can see, I need to start the server, I think. Give me a second. Oh, yes, our server get started. Now, yes, our server get started. And when we click on F3, so here you can see that your intercepted F3 page route content will be loaded in the F3 and your URL will also change to F3. But when you reload this current URL, So you can see the actual F3 page content over there. Now, I hope that you easily understand how the intercepting route in works in Next.js application, and that is for this video. We just covered how to use intercepting route to Next.js to take full control of your app navigation. From redirecting user to protecting pages and adding custom logic, intercepting route is a game changer for building dynamic and user-friendly application. If you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel for more web development tips and tricks. Got any question or idea for future video? Drop them in the comments below. I will love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Happy coding. Thank you.